8.
You want details? Fine. I drive a Ferrari 355 Cabriolet. What's up? I have a ridiculous house in the South Fork. I have every toy you can possibly imagine. And best of all, kids, I am liquid. So, now you know what's possible. Let me tell you what's required.
Life advice is lifeadvicerr@gmail.com. I think a couple statements need to be issued perhaps from the podcast. The first being, we know that Gottlieb's picks didn't work out. We are aware. We have heard from you. You have a voice on this show, and you have used it. And I don't know what to tell you. Sometimes some brackets don't work out for guys. I actually think I have his bracket in front of me. I think the podcast by association is now it's all being said that all of our picks were terrible. I don't know. I feel like it's a little unfair.
The risky ride.
We still have 2 Final Fours alive. We've got both West semifinalists alive. Kentucky obviously out early. When you lose a 2 seed and you're national champion in the first round to a 15 seed St. Peter's, it's not going to give you a great chance of winning the office pool. We are aware of that. Arizona, Nova's still alive. Auburn, not the case. We try to tell everybody about the guards forever, but he had them going to the finals. So yeah, that's an issue. Your finals matchup is already done before you even got to like Sunday.
Tough first
so
weekend.
Yeah, not the best time you've ever had if you were doing one of those brackets. So he had Nova over Ohio State though. Don't hear too many people complimenting that. So yeah, we'll try to do better. We'll try to do better in the future.
They only talk about your L's, Ryan. That's what they never talk about the W's. Come on.
No, they never talk about the W's. But let's face it, there were a lot of L's coming for you on this one, especially when you're losing your finals matchup before the sun goes down on Sunday. So there you go. But noted, we want you to know that we heard you.
We received the feedback, and we will we will act accordingly.
Yeah, we'll get better. We're going to use this
That's
as
on
a
us.
lesson. Yeah, that's
It's the Russell Wilson talk.
Oh my God.
Go Russillo.
By the way, I don't do this very often, but one of my favorite things over the last week was looking at Russell Wilson videos being introduced and seeing everybody with a Broncos jersey on and an avatar defending everything. Being like, no, you could definitely watch all their offensive snaps 3 times in the course of a vacation. Like, that's how he's built. He's just built different. How do you not get it? And you're like, yeah, no, I got it. Yep, that's right. It would definitely make a ton of sense to watch an offense you're not going to run 3 times.
That's why I respected Mike McCarthy when he got the Cowboys job. He was like, yeah, I watched every Cowboys game from last year. And then he was like, actually, I just lied to get the job. I actually respect that. Like, I respect he was like, yeah, I just tried to get the job and I lied. It is what it is. Like, Russ actually who knows? Maybe he did and I'm an idiot, but
he did. First of all, he did. So like,
it doesn't seem like it's possible, but you never know. Is Mr. Unlimited? Who knows?
Right. No, like if there's a train in our heads, you'd be like, well, where's this train going? Be like, well, this train's going to common sense. This train's going to like, a sandwich for lunch, maybe some chicken and rice for dinner. Russ is like, do you have a train to insane comp town? And you're like, yeah, I'm going to get on this one. And so it's just hilarious because I could figure this out very early on. And then now he was doing the presser, and you should be pumped because he's an awesome quarterback. And you could argue that he would watch the offense to evaluate receivers, evaluate the tight ends, even though their best tight end went back in the trade, looking at offensive linemen and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, that's just not what he did. Like, if you can't figure this stuff out now at this point, I can't help you. But the funny part was that Seattle fans who have defended it forever were like, oh, this guy, he didn't watch it. And I was just looking at all the battles, and it was hilarious to me because then it'd be some guy like, I don't know. I'm trying to throw out a weird Denver town. I'm just not going to. And he'd be like, whatever. He's super dedicated. Like, what are you talking about? And you're like, no, I get it. That's fine. Enjoy. I just can't believe some of the quotes. And by the way, did Skip have a thing the other day where he said he's watched every LeBron game? And he's tweeted about every LeBron game in existence.
He said he may have missed 1 or 2 games his rookie year, and that's it.
Okay.
But he's watched every game.
Yeah, because one of the origins of Skip and I not liking each other is when he said he'd watch every Chris Paul game going all the way back to college. Because I've had this long-standing thing where I've said, don't get as mad as you do against like guys that talk for a living about these teams, because we don't watch your team as much as you do. Like, I have lots of opinions on lots of teams. I have lots of opinions on the Bulls. If you're a really locked in Bulls fan, there's no chance I watch your team as much as you have, because I need to watch other games too. So sometimes I'm not going to know it as well as you do. I'm also not going to be emotionally attached to whatever my observation is of the whole thing. But yes, Skip one point said about Chris Paul, he was like, I've watched every one of his games going all the way back to college. And I was like, that's just not true. There's no way you did that. Like, it's just not. So I don't know why guys do that kind of stuff, but they do it. All right. Life advice. Moving on. Ryan, female, 29, 5'3", 133. All right. I've given up most forms of exercise in favor of the Melissa Wood Health 15-minute workout. I don't know what that is, but somebody want to research that?
Yeah.
Are we being fucked with here? Or is that a real thing? If it's a real thing, who knows? Spreading the word. I'm involved in a little mystery that my boyfriend and his friend, I don't know if we include names here. Let's just change them around. Mystery that my boyfriend and his friend Todd are obsessed with getting to the bottom of. They asked me to write you to see how you would handle it. I like the life advice segment. Would never listen to your podcast other than that. No offense. Hey, not the first female I've heard say that to me. Hear it almost every day. So here's the situation. A while back, I threw a birthday party for myself that was casino themed, and everyone dressed up in high roller attire. It's about 15 of my friends in my apartment. Look at you bragging about all 15 of your friends. How about this person, huh? Super popular. That's a joke about us, by the way.
It's too many friends.
Right. It's a lot of friends. One of my friends had a friend of hers in town. Let's call her Deborah. So she came to the party. Deborah embraced the theme and wore a pair of expensive, trendy sunglasses that she had just bought as part of her high roller outfit. At some point in the night, she took off the glasses, ended up leaving without them. Long story short, the glasses were nowhere to be found, and everyone concluded that clearly another party guest had gone home with them. This was slightly awkward for me, as these weren't random people, but my close friends. I texted my friends and asked if anyone had seen the glasses, and one replied that she hadn't seen them, but joked that she'd been very drunk, so it was possible she'd taken them. We never brought it up again. Recently, I went to this friend's apartment, and I saw a pair of glasses in her room that I've never seen her wear. After leaving, I put together that these might actually be Deborah's glasses. Do I, A, try to get another look at the glasses, B, wait for her to wear them in front of me, C, confront her about it, D, just let it go at this point? I'm inclined to choose D because this is one of my best friends, and I don't think it's that huge of a deal, but my boyfriend and Todd find the whole thing hilarious and want me to confront her. Thanks, bestie. I appreciate your consideration of this matter. P.S. My boyfriend says UVM winning the NCAA tournament would be the absolute craziest thing that's happened. Yes, that'd be super crazy. She thinks UVM's underrated. UVM lost to Arkansas, so we're not going to worry about that at this point. All right, a lot of options here. I am not a steal people's shit guy. I think it's really fucked up, and I think when you realize that, like, the person that bought the thing that you stole is always going to have this kind of like, look, they'll eventually get over the hole in their life. I don't know how long it takes for sunglasses. I imagine a pet takes a little bit longer than a pair of shades, but you get my point that you're always kind of like, oh, whatever happened to those? And when you can't solve the mystery, it's usually because somebody fucking stole them. And so I think your friend saying, ooh, I maybe would have taken them, I don't know, because I was drunk, she's admitting she definitely took them. All right. Am I 100% on it? No, but I'm pretty close to 100%. If you're going to say like, oh, I don't remember seeing them, but who knows with me, I was so drunk, maybe I took them. Why would you say that unless you probably took them? So I know what you're also saying is you're doing the math, which is smart on, do I confront the person that's always been in my life and will continue to be in my life about stealing sunglasses that I think we all know she stole them, to be like, hey, why did you steal those? Hey, I need them back, and cause some sort of conflict there, even though your friend is the one that's wrong, to then get the shades back to the friend of a friend where apparently you're, based on this, the information, there's not going to be a lot of interaction there down the road. You better be sure, though, right? As sure as I think I am right now, we're not 100% on it. So if it is one of your best friends, you could go over there. You could, I don't know how you're going to confirm it. You could take a picture of it And then if you show that picture to the friend of a friend, Deborah, whose glasses they may originally been, and then she's like, yeah, those are mine. That's bullshit. She stole them. I want them back. Now you're forced to have to deal with something that's much bigger than what you have to deal with right now. So selfishly, yes, you could look at it as, you know, I'm not looking to be fucking Batman here. You know, this is not with great power comes great responsibility. Like maybe I just don't want to deal with all this stuff. I do think it's kind of fucked up that your friend would steal the glasses, be drunk and steal them. You could ask her about it. Maybe she'd just totally come clean and be like, I'm so embarrassed. And then after the fact, I didn't want to say anything. But I think that she's not embarrassed. I think she's almost running it by you because she knows that deep down she did it the whole time. So there's a very easy way out of this by saying, I'm just not dealing with any of it. You keep your friend. There's no conflict. There's no part of it that's weird. Because I imagine if you're a person that steals shit, you don't like being called out for it because you're a fucking thief. And, you know, then you're the hero for this other person you're not really friends with. And then your boyfriend and then the other guy, like mystery solved and all this stuff. So I think selfishly, like most people would choose that option, being like, I just don't want to have to deal with all this kind of stuff. But I don't know, man. I would probably say something to one of my friends being like, why did you steal that? Like, what did you do? And, you know, because then think about their position. What's their position? How dare you call me out for something that I stole and return it to the rightful owner, you asshole? Like, say that out loud, right? So, I imagine most people would choose the first option. I'm not saying that you have to do the second option, but I just think when I just think, like I said, I've had so much stuff stolen from me over the years, and then I've had a couple people steal shit. Then I would see it later and be like, "Oh, ha, yeah." And you're like, "No, not fucking." Like you stole my shit from my house. You knew it was stolen. You knew I'd asked about it. There's this one T-shirt I'd had from high school. Still, I don't know how the thing survived. I fucking loved it, and then it got stolen by a girl because it was an awesome T-shirt. And then I don't know, a year and a half later, I saw it and I'd asked about it like 2 or 3. I knew it was stolen. And then it was like the person got busted and then acted like it was some big joke. And I'm like, no, it wasn't fucking funny. I asked you about it. You stole it. You lied about it. And now you're busted. And we're all just supposed to have a laugh about it. So I don't know. I don't
Sad.
really have a definitive answer. Yeah, sad, Kyle. Very sad. Go ahead.
I just think you definitely have to make sure that it is, because basically all she said is, I saw a pair of sunglasses that I've never seen her wear before. And I mean, what do you guys like, share a room? Like, how do you know if she wears glasses all the time?
Girls know. Girls know about each other's
okay.
accessories.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. But all she said, she's like, later I put it together. So I mean, yeah, maybe find out. The other thing I would say is, what if you just like went a little reconnaissance and just fucking stole them back? And then, I mean, how awkward would that be if then when they're all together again and she knows that the glasses she stole are missing, she sees them on the girl who they belong to, like that might just be enough of a mind fuck where everybody gets a little penance anyway. If you go over steal them back, as long as you're sure that those are the ones.
But that's what Ryan said. You have to know that these are the sunglasses that were stolen. First off, I love the boyfriend being like, yeah, confront her. Like, because that's 100% what I would do, even though it's not the right thing to do at all. It's just to egg somebody on and be like, do it, you won't. I don't know what the end game there is other than like his personal enjoyment. So I wouldn't say it's the best advice. But why, if you are sure, first off, she said, hey, should I wait until she, is wearing them in front of me? Yes, at that point, like, I think you should probably say something. But until you really know, like, what are you snooping around a room and you see these sunglasses and you're like, oh, like, how do you explain that away? It's kind of awkward to explain. So I just think you have to absolutely know. And then once it's really painfully obvious, then you just kind of pull her aside and be like, I know what the deal is. What the hell's going on? And just confront her. Because as you said, Ryan, what's she going to get mad at you for that? Like, it's her problem. She stole the sunglasses. So just make sure you're sure. And I think, confront her on the side to see what's up.
Yeah. You could also double check with the original person, be like, hey, look, we have a cleaning person coming or whatever, something like that. Like, can you send me a picture of what the exact sunglasses look like? So that way you can match them up without having to ask your friend about what it was. I do think too, for anyone that's had a rough night or two in their life, if this is not her tendency, if she doesn't normally steal shit, if she was hammered at your birthday party and she did something she doesn't normally do and it's totally out of character, I would be a little more lenient of like,
It
hey,
happens.
like, yeah, it happens. I'm not endorsing it, but let's be honest with ourselves here too, and realize that people do some fucked up stuff when they're hammered. And then it's like, okay, is this what you do? Do you always go to parties and get wasted and steal shit? Okay, well then, but if you don't, I think there's a way to handle it too, to be like, hey, I know you were super banged up, but like, did you grab those?
But the
And she
weird
might
part
just
about
be
it,
like,
though,
go ahead.
is that she almost wanted to get caught by the way that she, as you said, by the way that she like said, hey, I could have been me, I don't know, like, you know, whatever. It's almost like when you watch those like true crime things or whatever, and like there's a serial killer, and after a while they just get lazy because they want to get caught, like they're leaving breadcrumbs here and there. Like that's what this situation is. It's almost like she wants you to know that she actually did steal them, even though you can't actually pin her down on it. It's an odd dynamic.
I didn't think we'd get to a serial killer comp there, but here we are. All right, I got another email here. This one is from Joseph, and he said, hey, huge LimeWire guy back in the day.
Nice.
Okay.
Kazaa. More of a Kazaa guy.
Yep. And he said that at one point he had the FBI reach out to him about copyright infringement, and he's worried as he's applying for a new job. Is this something that stays on your record?
Short answer, no. Happened to me. No.
Wait. Wait, what goes? All right. How does one handle a copyright infringement accusation from the feds?
Well, I'll tell you, my dad wasn't happy. I can tell you that much.
All right, back up. Just start. Tell us. Play back the entire message.
He gave me his old laptop. I think I was in like 9th or 10th grade. He gave me his old laptop, and he taught me how to burn CDs. That's it. He taught me how to burn CDs, and it had this cool little printer in the laptop that would like print out a little thing on the top of a CD. That's it. So he was like, isn't this cool? You could make like mixtapes and CDs and stuff. So I start burning movies immediately. I started immediately getting Blockbuster movies, burning them. And I would even print it out little like covers for DVDs. And one of my big ones was Pride and Glory. I thought Pride and Glory was a great movie. So I burned like 20 copies of Pride and Glory. And then I don't know, I was selling them in school. There's no way the FBI could know that, but I don't know. It just, there was a letter from the FBI that was like basically a cease and desist. And my dad was like, I got to take your laptop from you. What the hell are you doing? So lost the laptop for a little while, but yeah, no, the FBI sent a letter to the house, and it was addressed to him, not me, I think. So I don't know. Just, I don't think anything ever came from that.
So Pride and Glory almost brought down your family. A Gavin O'Connor film, by the way.
Solid. Great bar fight scene.
Colin Farrell?
Yeah, Colin Farrell. Great bar fight scene in there.
I tell you, Colin Farrell, to me, stock could not be more mispriced. It's just he's so good in that Northwater show that I don't know how many people saw on AMC, but it's worth the free AMC trial to watch Colin Farrell. Like, I've been whoring all night and my whistle's dry.
That's what he says.
Is that the line?
I don't know.
He's like really thirsty, and he goes to a bar the next day, and he doesn't have any money, and he's spent the entire night with prostitutes, and then he's at the bar and he's trying to figure out a way to get a drink, and he comes out the introduction to his character, he is throwing 105 miles an hour on the paint. It's unbelievable. And after The Lobster too with Colin Farrell, I was okay. So, all right, you get the letter. Were you unfazed or phased?
I was phased because I was like 15. I was like, wow, FBI knows who I am. I'm 15. That's crazy. But I never stopped using like the other LimeWire stuff, but it was specifically for the DVDs that I was burning. And I don't know if it was because it was Blockbuster that they knew. I don't know how anybody knew. I have no idea how they knew that I was taking a CD, copying it onto another CD in the privacy of my home. Honestly, I wonder if it was illegal. They were spying on me, but I don't know how it happened, but I was phased, and I was more phased by how freaked out my dad was, but nothing ever happened.
But it never came up again.
I think it's just easier for them to send a letter to someone.
Tactic.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Because I actually have had a few guys get those, and because one of my friends in high school was like selling bootleg Revenge of the Sith DVDs, and I got one, and he got a letter, but nothing ever came out of it. And I still have the DVD to this day. It's awesome. But I think movies are probably a bigger deal than music. I think, especially back then, because with the money involved or whatever. But I knew a couple people that got those letters and nothing ever came out of it.
Guys are just calling out the feds left and right.
It's like having a camera that's not plugged in, right? It's cheaper to do that than actually have to wire
They have a
everything up.
security system.
Maybe
Yeah.
it deters some people, so who knows?
So you're saying it never came up in an interview with the Parks Department in Poughkeepsie?
Correct. No, didn't stop me from getting the Modell's gig either. So
The Modell's gig, youngest manager in the Northeast.
that's what we're telling people.
So, all right. So this guy doesn't.
Don't worry, pal. You're fine.
I don't know.
If there
I feel
was
like we're
never a
putting
step two,
podcast-
I think if there was never a step two, you're fine.
You should
I feel
probably
like we're-
stop doing it though. Like you know,
We should compare letters. I think I still have mine. We should compare letters, see if it looks.
Here's
the
what
same.
I would ask this question though. Like in the 80s and 90s, if you were going to make a girl a mixtape on cassette, nobody looked at it that way. Nobody looked at it as like, because there was an art of the mixtape too, and how you wanted to, open.
but you already had to buy
middle.
right? You had to buy the cassette already, right?
Or you could
Yeah, but
radio,
it's the
right?
same. It's the same thing. Well, yeah. I mean, guys recording off the radio. I mean, it never quite came out the way you wanted it to. That was like very early on. Guys would hold up a recorder to the radio and record off the speaker that way, and then you'd play it. Like we did that in elementary school, thinking we were fucking killing it.
That's how I used to get my ringtones back in the day.
Like, yeah, man, I got like six songs from Thriller on this cassette right here. This is like six. Yeah.
You can hear
Yeah.
you talking in the background.
Yeah. So your mom's yelling at you to turn it down in the back. And you're like, all right, ignore that part. Yeah, but that was I know you closed a little Van Morrison for a mixtape if you were interested in the fairer sex. So there you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mood Deads.
I still kind of want to get back to you like Pride and Glory that much. You just needed to spread the word.
Yeah, there was that. I thought it was great, and I was like, I bet you a lot of people haven't seen this. And we were getting the Blockbuster thing like in the mail when they were still competing with Netflix. So I was just like and it wasn't only Pride and Glory, but I remember I made like 10 or 15 copies of Pride and Glory because I even like would print out the sheet and like put it in there and like make it all nice.
And you weren't selling it?
I was.
Oh, you were. Okay.
I made like 15
Yeah,
Pride and Glories, and then I
say,
did some other
right.
ones. But yeah.
Yeah. All right.
It was a bit of a hobby, though. I enjoyed doing it.
Wait, wasn't there something on? Can we look this up? Was there any kind of tracking device on Blockbuster DVDs that they knew they were being put in a burner? So this is how it happens.
Maybe that's how I got found out.
I thought there was something to that, or it might have just been a scare tactic back in the day.
Also, could it be that too?
Yeah. Do you believe that when Blockbuster, we see the documentary on Blockbuster going out of business, do you feel remotely guilty at all? Like if I just maybe 5 less Pride and Glories, they might still be around.
It could be. Honestly, I think it hurts the Pride and Glory people more than the Blockbuster people, probably, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, if Bill interviews Gavin O'Connor at some point, we'll be like, hey, did you be like, our residuals on Pride and Glory were lower than our projections.
New York Times had a thing in 2007. It's a sigh of relief for Blockbuster. Few people copy DVDs. A new study found that only 1% of internet users use software to defeat copy protection on DVDs. I did not use anything to defeat the copy protection. So maybe that's where that letter came
Real
from.
straight shooter.
Yeah. You should get a 1%er tattoo. I think that covers it on today's podcast.
Good. I'm good there.
Lifeadvice@gmail.com. Thanks to Kyle and Steve, as always. And please subscribe. Ryen Russillo Podcast for your Spotify.